Rook takes b7, he
Oh no!
and he did it instantly.
Oh
Oh no.
I'm speechless.
The rivalry between Alireza the Ferocious and Fabiano Caruana has been hotting up for some weeks now, and it all started here. Fabiano decided to steal Alireza's shoes, copy his dress sense completely, and not only that, in round 1 of the Sinquefield Cup, over the board, look at this opening. Plays this right, we get ourselves a Roy Lopez, no. We get ourselves a Gucci Reza piano. Fabi stealing the opening, named after Alireza. Unbelievable disrespect there. Alireza developing a pony, shaking his head, muttering under his breath. We got ourselves a real fight on our hands here. Yes, I'm out of date. The last round just got played, so I'll bring you the tournament results at the end of this video, but we're diving in on this game because it's incredible. What a fight. 2 absolute juggernauts. D3 played, bishop c5 from Alireza. Is Fabi going to give us knight c3, a massive 8-piece Jenga tower on the c file? No, he pushes p instead. Standard stuff. We get d6 and now one of the most overpowered pawn structures. b4 sets up the old bathtub. We got the bishop there chilling with the rubber ducky. Lavender oils, incense burning. This one now retreats and Fabi's like YOLO. Pushes p again, taking tons of space. He's hoping to ensnare the bishop, but Alireza sees it. b5 comes in response. The knight now stumbling backwards, but don't worry, it's rotating. Plenty of horseplay to come. Both players castle and they do a little table tap. Kind of like in snooker when you play a good shot. They appreciate the king safety. Knight bd2 on the board. Knight g6, looking at some dark squares. And now already we get the central cut and thrust with pawn to d4. And how to respond, right? You could take, let's say, then look at going d5. Or you hold steady with rook e8. Or I carry on talking about variations that didn't happen as if I secretly understand the subtleties of the position, and not that I've listened to Peter Svidler for like 2 hours straight and now I'm stumbling over my words. Instead we'll stick with the game. Bishop g4 was played, pin and win baby. Fabi now breaks it, there's pressure on d4 but not yet taken. First we see queen d7, connect those rooks, keep them happy. Rook e1 played in response, rook fe8, anything you can do, I can do better, and h3 puts the question, surely you sacrifice, get 2 pawns for the piece, bring the knight in, checkmate the king, vamos, let's kill. No, no good. Bishop f1's coming, defends the king, there's not enough stuff. Knight h2. Also a very common defensive theme. So none of it played. Alireza takes, I was about to say castles. Now we see knight recaptures and he takes on d4. He's a hungry boy, growing lad, wants to eat that pawn, and he's got his eyes on a second one, a juicy c pawn, but guess what? Fabi does not capture back, no. This is why he sits at home dressed as a centaur, leaving Stockwell, running overnight, getting to depth 47. Christian likes to dress up too. They'll often go away, get their below the belt grooming done.
Every man knows the fear of that close shave just down below the waistline, but with the Lawnmower 5.0 I've managed to checkmate that fear. I've had the privilege to try the new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, and trust me, it's an absolute banger. It's a game changer.
Come back in the morning, I don't mean together, separately, right? And then they'll have a look at what Stockwell is suggesting and bang, it comes up with absolute gold like this. This is what Fabi came to do. Win the Sinquefield Cup, play novelties like this, give a second pawn. Alireza goes into the tank here, not the army tank, not the fish tank, the mental tank. What does he come up with? You know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. I'm going to gobble that pawn. And he makes a kind of num noise. Almost like a caterpillar chewing on a cabbage leaf. That's how impressive it is. Now we see the bishop recapture, and look at that. The stars are aligned. The Titans unleashed. Been watching too much Hercules. My kids love it right now. And what to do in response? Well, Alireza fights back in the center of the board, trying to blunt one of those bishops. We see knight captures here. It changes the pawn structure. And what do we notice? Well, Alireza is still a pawn ahead, but white's got this unopposed light squared sniper enemy at the gates. This is the intriguing battle. So rook ad1 hits that queen, poker face from Fabi. He doesn't want the enemy to spot it, but Alireza does. He's one of the top players in the world. Now we see rook d3. Is Fabi preparing to stack the two towers? No, because when the file is challenged, he slides off to the right with a little giggle, converging on f7. We see this one defended, and now how about this? Fabi pulls out his Nokia 3310 and starts snaking away across the board, attacking e5 twice. How to defend it? Bishop d4 the move here, and if you capture, well, it's good for black. You start improving their position, freeing the pieces. So instead we see the bishop slide back, retaining the bishop pair for now, spinning around to g5 here, and actually there's big pressure about to come on the king, as we'll see. Alireza wants to fight back, so he changes the pawn structure. He could go, say, rook d6 or h6 or something, but no, he doesn't want to sit there. He plays pawn to c ships. We see captures. B file now opened. Who does it favour? Well, Alireza decides he's going to get to the punch first. He could go rook d6. That's the more prudent defensive move. But he wants an absolute battle. Love his style. Plays this rook b8 move, and he's looking to counterattack. Rook b2, rook f2 with the bishop, getting those queen and pawn kebabbed on the second. But he is allowing this. The pawn structure shattered. Yes, he gets a lovely pair of double Fs, but is that such a good thing? Not really. The king woefully exposed here. The kilt has been absolutely ripped off, and now we see queen c1 looking for the invasion. Rook b2, apparently the best move, immediately counterattacking here. But we don't see it. We see rook b4 hitting a bishop and a pawn, and guess what? It actually forces Fabi to go wrong here, even though this is given a miss by the engine. Now, what should white do? Well, the way to go, the incisive attacking move, is queen h6. That is not easy to find. You leave an entire bishop hanging, a massive part of the attack. And then the follow-up move you have to find is not a rook lift, but like the opposite, a rook squat or something. I don't know what we call it. You bring it back to close the trap on the king. And the only defensive move here is rook c3, keeping an eye on the third rank. And then just for the icing on the cake, you have to do this. I mean, these lines are just incredible. If bishop takes, pawn recaptures, everything's blocked out, the rook is coming, it's no good. So this is apparently the best way. Then there's this. Then you go king h8, e takes on d4 is best. I mean, these lines just go on, and there's this idea to do this. So you do this, and then if you do this, it's not best, so you do this. I mean, it's just incredible stuff. Really is. About level, white slightly ahead. Good luck seeing all that. Fabi doesn't do it, doesn't sack his bishop. Instead, he plays the meek bishop to f1. Does make sense from a human perspective, but he's headed in the wrong direction. Rook d6 does some defensive work. Alireza not interested in this pawn right now, wants to cover his king. We see queen h6 invading. This one now covers, so the queen slides back, queen g7, king h2, queen g6, and this is the problem, right? Queen f3 back, and what progress has Fabi made? He's retreated his bishop, put the king here, and snaked this queen all over the board, but not really got anywhere. Meanwhile, Alireza's covered his king, improved his queen and rook, and now he starts pushing the c pawn there. That's a big threat to go c4, then c3. So rook c1 necessary, converging on the most explosive square. We get rook b2 in response here, going after f2, so queen d1 played. Sneaky move, eyeballs the unprotected rook on d6. therefore inadvertently defends f2. You know, there's ideas of takes and distract the bishop. So Alireza moves the rook over. We'll ignore the miss. King g7 apparently more accurate. We're sticking with the game. Bishop e2 now intercepts that rook. Kebab in the second rank. Queen h6 played, and it's a sneaky trap. You know, takes on e2. The queen overloaded. The rook on c1 hangs. So bishop b5 played. Hits the juicy square, and now you can take on f2, win a pawn, but the queen invades. It's quite deadly actually. Doesn't lead to wins, but leads to draws. Alireza wants to keep the tension, so he goes king f8 here. We get rook c2 challenging, rook b4, keeping pieces on the board, and now after queen d3, rook d6 back, bishop c4, king e7. And look at the picture we're painting here. I just had way too much fun with the arrows, but it's so common in opposite coloured bishops, all the black pieces ending up on the same colour square as its own bishop. And the same for white here. Everything's cemento. We're going to start rattling through these next few moves. The invasion square covered, and the players just start shuffling here. Alireza's doing this whole thing on about a minute, but he does get 30 seconds back per move. That's called increment. Slowly, some improvement of the position. Fabi squeezing a bit. He's up on the clock, but don't forget, even though he's got some more space and some better pieces, arguably, he is a pawn down here, so he's not technically better. We're in a threefold repetition right now, but no. Fabi breaks it with queen g4. No draw for you, sir. Let's play on. Rook b8 played, keeping an eye on the queen, protecting it. You know, there could have been horrible tactics like this. Now we see bishop c4, queen g8, queen e2, and fear not, it's hotting up. We're not just headed towards some crazy stalemate here. Rook c4, queen c8, this one hits g4 once more, and after queen d7 hitting a4, things start hotting up, because this one invades, hits f7, and Alireza only has 2 moves here to keep an equilibrium. He doesn't find either. What are those moves? Well, one is taking here, and apparently the best way to go is some kind of draw like this, where you just keep checking with the queen. The other way, if you're not sacking in exchange, is taking here. This is a very cool queen sack. You get these couple of pieces, but also this massive running pawn. You know, there was pressure here. That's why this one covered, and you've got enough compensation for the material that you're down. So we come back here. That wasn't played though. Takes here or takes here. Instead, we see the king scuttle away, but now Fabi actually has the chance to start squeezing. You know, this whole queen side, very tender. Sorry, king side. Imagine if the pawn started running. Now, one of the best ways to start is rook c2. Cover f2, but missed. Fabi takes on f7, playing low on time, not his forte. King c7 runs away, still rook c2 best, but no, queen g8 looks for the invasion, but Alireza, he doesn't need asking twice. He picks up the bish, chops on f2, and you can't recapture because the rook is pinned to the king. This is the problem here, and now Fabi makes it even worse. He should take on b4 immediately, but he swings the queen over, looking for this invasion, right? But there's a problem. He's left his bishop hanging. Obviously, he saw that one, didn't just turn into a complete patzer. But now he can't immediately take on f2 because there's a problem with his rook on c4. So he's got to take on b4 first, but now we see captures and the enemy pawn is running. Yes, you get back your piece here, but look at Alireza's position. Check. The king should go to g2, stay with the rook, goes to h2, given the miss. And you can pick up on a4 here. You've got the 2 connected passes. However, Alireza are a bit spooked by queen a7 check. So he starts with king b6 here. Now we see the check from here. The king sidesteps, check. Queen a7 blocks, and we see one of the problems with the rook on f2, undefended by the king. White doesn't have a move to go say, I don't know, rook f8, hit this rook, etc. Or queen f8, I should say. Therefore, the check was played, but now we see blocks. The queen's running out of checks here, and once we reach this position, the rook slides. You could have checked here, but the queen was blocking. Their checks run out. So queen d7 now played, hits the a pawn, sets up the battery. We see a check, king a6, queen f2, a terrible move now according to Stock Squid. It poops its pants. h5 apparently best, but the position's so tough. b3 kicks that rook into a defensive position, and Alireza moves on in, gobbles that pawn. It's absolutely terminal for Fabi. You can see by the bar, black is running away with it. This one weak too. Queen f3, but stick with it, there's a twist to come. Rook b6 played, now we see a check, king a7, the queen invading, Alireza doing everything right here, preparing to march the pawns. He does it now, we see rook d2, preparing to activate, and guess what? There's actually only 2 winning moves here. It's surprisingly tricky. Good luck if you want to find it, pause it, have a look for it. The themes are similar. The way to go is with this one, best move, because now after check, you can step up the board and there's no queen a8 check, the queen covers. Very nice, very harmonious. Similar themes on queen c4, covering here. But okay, not played. Instead, Alireza pushes on with b2 here, and look at the bar react. It brings it back to a drawn position because there's check, the rook blocks, and Fabi now has one move and one move only. Can you find it if I give you 10 million seconds here? How do you win the game? Sorry, draw the game in this position. The way to go. Very well done if you saw rook d5. You switch back and set up this perpetual. If the queen is made, then there's the check. You have to actually give up the queen here or you're mated. Then there's this one and you just keep bouncing. Pogo stick back and forth, make the draw. And if instead of making the queen, what else to try? I'm trying to think here. Can you run with the king maybe? Whose move is it? No, rook d5, king a6 to cover the square. Well, then there's this check here and the queen really starts bouncing around. You just can't dodge them. This is one sample line. So okay, that was the way to go. It makes the draw, but missed. Fabi, with about 2.5 to 3 minutes on the clock, chops off on b7.
Everything.
Rook takes b7, e2.
Oh no!
And he did it instantly.
Oh no!
Fabi had 3 minutes. Oh no.
I'm speechless.
Look at Stockfish have an absolute meltdown, open the butt flap, king recaptures, and it's game over. Now you can check, yes, but these are just spite checks. The king starts rumbling forward. Here we see resignation. It's going to support the pawns through. Eventually you'll find cover. Eventually you can block the checks with the queen. That's just nothing to say anymore. Game over. This was 85 moves. Massive result for Alireza in round 1. And he's now gone on to win the entire tournament, as well as winning the Rapid and Blitz earlier, and he wins the entire Grand Chess Tour. What a year for him. What a player. Do smash subscribe if you're loving these videos. Don't forget to dislike as well, and never share with your friends. Thanks very much for watching, and hope to see you soon. Cheers.